Welcome to my Meetup Start program. Have you wondered why some people take years to master Oracle skills and while others seem to pick them up so quickly? So when I started my career, I realized something very important. Mastering Oracle DBAs is not just about how many hours you study. It's all about how you study and how you practice. So over the years, I've built a system that helps me master your DBA skills faster than others. And in this video, I will try to share those exact steps with you. So by the end, you will know how to accelerate your learning so you don't waste time on things that don't matter. The first thing is learning in context and not in isolation. So here's what most beginners do. They pick up a textbook or Google commands and memorize like the syntax, create, user, or alter database. But here's the truth. That's not mastery. That's just collecting the commands. What I did differently every time I learned a new feature, I connected with the real scenario. Yes. So when I learned about admin backups, I did just memorize the commands. I would start, by taking tool backups. Then I would intentionally delete the data file, RM my data file .dbf. Now the database is in a crashed state. So my goal is to use my admin knowledge to bring it back to life. So I would run restore database followed by recover database. This isn't just memorizing; it's a problem-solving exercise. Yes, I created a scenario where my database crashed and I had to recover it step by step. Suddenly, RMAN wasn't just a command, it was a life saving. Yes. And one more example, same on the same lines of user management, instead of like just memorizing create user and grant, you know, user, grant the respective privileges to the user. A beginner might just learn these, create user, identified my password. But what's the real scenario? You have got a new developer joining the team and they need access to the specific tables, but not the entire database. This is a chance to learn about roles and privileges. So you can create a developer role, grant it only the necessary privileges, and then grant the developer role to the new developer. So this makes the concept of security and roles tangible and useful. This method works because your brain is a problem solving machine, not a flashcard machine. So when you attach a command or a concept to a real world problem, your brain creates a stronger memory pathway. It says this is a useful information. I am going to store this because I might need to solve a problem again. Yes, and that's why I call this as enlightened thinking, not just a normal thinking, but an enlightened thinking. And we need to have enlightened thinking for every scenarios in our life. Yes, that's why my students master faster. We don't just talk theories, we practice it in real life simulation, and that context burns the skill into your memory. Yes, the second step, build skills layer by layer. The second secret is building skills layer by layer. So when you try to learn everything at once, architecture, SQL tuning, RAG, data guard, your brain gets overloaded. And when you're overwhelmed, you retain nothing. So what I do is layer the learning. First, get your fundamentals rock solid. Architecture, what are the background processes? What's a redo log? What's a control file? Then move on to the user management, storage management. So once you understand those, you can tackle the most critical skills of backup recovery, and this is your safety net. And after the foundation, what comes next? Once you have built the foundation, the next layer is performance tuning. You can't tune a database if you don't if you don't understand how it is built, right? This is where you learn to analyze AWR reports and trace files. I keep telling my students, if you don't know where your past SQL statement is stored, don't even come to my class. Yes, you first, check all my recorded sessions on Oracle architecture and then come to my class, yes, of AWR report. After that, you're ready for the most advanced topic after once you master performance tuning, high availability. Next is your data guard. Then is your real application clusters. So these are complex and you will struggle with them. And if you don't have a solid grasp of backup and performance tuning first. Think of it like building a house. You don't start with a roof, right? You start with a foundation. You can't, put up the walls, performance tuning, if you don't have a strong foundation like architecture and backup. And you certainly can't build the roof, rack, and data guard until the walls are up. So each layer supports the one above it. So this layered approach makes learning faster because each new skill is built on something you already understand. Yes. So third is practicing like you're already in a job. Yes, which I've explained in my previous slides also. Though this one is huge. Most learners practice just enough to pass an exam or to just pass an interview, but exams don't just get you hired, right? Solving real issues does. So when I was learning performance tuning, I just didn't just read about AWR reports. So when I downloaded the sample AWR report, I didn't just glance at the top SQL. I asked myself questions like, if I were in a meeting, what would the client ask me? What's the biggest bottleneck here? Is it a CPU issue? Is it a storage issue? What specific SQL statement is causing the most load? I would formulate my recommendations based on that analysis, just like I would, for a real client. So, another great practice scenario is the disk space. A common issue is the table space running out of space, isn't it? A student might just learn alter database data file, and that path and resize. But on the job, it's about more than that. You have to ask, why is this table space growing so fast? Is there a rogue job? What's the business impact? How do I automate an alert on for this? Simulating these broader questions makes you a more valuable, well-rounded DBA. Yes. So this type of practice is what separates the average candidate from exceptional ones. So when an interviewer asks, "What would you do if a database crashed?" You don't just need a textbook answer. You can say, "I've actually simulated it. I I would first identify the issue, use RMN commands for restore and recovery, and then document the process to prevent it from happening again." This shows you're not just a student; you are a problem solver. Next, now let's talk about the mindset. A lot of people burnout trying to master the DBA skills by studying 12 hours a day for 1 week. Then they quit. Here's my thumb rule, or here's my rule: consistency beats intensity. Think of it like going to the gym. You're not going to get strong by working for 12 hours straight one day, right? And then quitting for a month. You get strong by doing 30 to 45 minutes of focused exercise consistently several times a week. So, learning works the same way. A little bit of progress every day adds up to massive change over time. Remember, it's not about rushing, it's about steady progress with the right method. Set a realistic, goal for yourself. Maybe, it's I will spend 1 hour, a day for my lab environment, or I will complete one practice scenario a week. This isn't about memorizing a command. It's about building a habit. So how do you master DBA skills faster? It's simple. So you learn in context, not in isolation. You build up your skills layer by layer. You practice like you're already on the job, and you do it all with consistency, consistent focused mindset. Stop spending years collecting commands. It's time to start solving problems and building the confidence you need to land your next job. So if you want me to personally guide you through this process with a real world labs and interview preparations that gets results, reach out to me through the top mate link below, and let's get you from the confused to confident together. Join my Telegram channel, and I'm also available on LinkedIn. Thank you. Have a very nice day. Bye bye.